Good afternoon, I am Precious Mzea Sakaleji. Welcome to Camnet TV Midday News. The headlines. Former police IG EPHRAIM MATEYO secretly sworn in as Chief KAPIJIMPANGA but warns against fanning violence. UPND youth appears in court over lawn-naked protest at University of Zambia after 12 days in detention. Details coming through after this commercial. Hello, have you heard about MSika? Do you know that you can advertise for as low as 150 kwacha for 30 seconds? Well, MSika is here. Advertise on MSika between 17 hours and 18 hours. Just tell us about the services that you offer and we'll gladly put you on the market. For more details, you can contact +260 953 995099. +260 962 444 726 or +260 971 177 467. MSika, allowing your business to grow. And other media news in detail. The KAPIJIMPANGA Royal Establishment has warned former Inspector General of Police EPHRAIM MATEYO against breeding anarchy in the chiefdom by purporting that he is the new Chief KAPIJIMPANGA. On the 28th of November 2020, Mr. MATEYO is also past immediate former Northwestern Permanent Secretary was secretly installed as caretaker chief while the palace already had another chief in place. But the KAPIJIMPANGA Royal Establishment says Mr. MATEYO's actions may bring about war, advising him to stop what they term as traditional drugs or be met head-on. Details in the following report.
While His Royal Highness Chief KAPIJIMPANGA of the Kaunda-speaking people of Solwezi District in the Northwestern Province was busy carrying out his duties as Chief, former Inspector General of Police and past immediate Northwestern Province Permanent Secretary EPHRAIM MATEYO was busy being installed as caretaker chief KAPIJIMPANGA at an unknown location on the 28th of November 2020. This purported installation was held in secrecy with a minimum number of people, mainly family members from the Mateyos.
Amuwaya amina atongolwa ku mafumu ni mwana ba mubambe ba mushiya ya miswanyika ba mafumu kabizimiwa ya miswanyika bitumba fumu nati bino byo ibyo
kwepiko baswanyikire kwa kubira mafumu bakwabo fumu yese baswanyika mafumu bakwabo bamunjimanzovu.
This group of people, calling itself as the Real Vernacular Royal Establishment, is accusing the current Chief Kilolo Msangambi of gross royal misconduct, unlawful conversion of traditional land for his personal gain, and misappropriation of royal trust funds, allegations which have been trashed by the current royal traditional leadership on the throne.
Bena kushokoroka yense bufumu bwa KAPIJIMPANGA na kuya kurondorera abantu pakino kino kyamweka ngatwapwisha byobyo popa kuyapa no kusoromoka kukafurumende ke kuya kwikala nawo na bakafurumende na kuibarondorera mba awaye mwangiranga nawo pano kyaba byepi kyapwa
nangwa kitumba fumo nangwa mfumu kange seke kutwera muwaye mambone betuleke ateba bene bena cyuru tukontorore potu arubankanya tuibana bankaje nangwanga kuipa ya tukeipa ya teba bene
para sinayo gafako ngema ya mpara sinsonoto para siyonse baunabura pano kazi kintu kinga kimoto twashingira atebe na cyuru mucyumvuishe pakona ura bintu bya bufumu bintu bya bufumu yo protection ya bufumu Para byonse kona ura gusoka. Para byasoka mikira byonse nko wabika byavura kana fana kwibitongora ne mambo imo byajika. Para byaona ura tukebitana pi. Bintu byafumanga zimo ku Kongo, zimo kukora, zimo kwebiko byafumanga para byonse waka wasoka.
Sister to the current chief warns that if Mr. MATEYO wants to bring war to them, they have gotten what they want and it's game on.
Yaminyenga y'abamfumu ba KAPIJIMPANGA. Abe byonse byobe na kwamba bobe na kyuru nkeba ishire kuyatweba na kwitubu kubula mbatube byobyone ate bano be family ke tusakwibiswisha byabyone be na kukeba kuleta nkondo muno ngebe na kukeba kuleta nkondo bebe manene atweba kukipango abo mudzivu moza banganyinzo bafumamo pako bambatu iba yuke po batendekerane po bapeja ketuiba yuka ne ketuna keba ne confusion ne kwituletera confusion ne twakana ate bene tunakeba kuikwatankana ne kubwera pamone kuingizira bufumu bwetu kanobo keba letepo ma confusion.
They have further challenged Mr. Mateo to tell the nation which lineage he comes from, as he is not even near the Kapijimpanga chieftaincy.
Ateba tubena kyuru tuba kubufumu pano keti bonse teba bakubufumu amba tukaswana bufumu ne kujikisemi kyafa ina kuikara kuswana bufumu abebe na kyuru bonse tube na kyuru kange tuketere kuamba twafana kuswana bufumu ne awa Mateyo nango ababene kwibika popo keba konsha kuswana bufumu ne keba dimukisemi keba dimumuraini wa kuswana bufumu ne.
They highlight that only Senior Chief Mujimanzovu is the right chief to preside over the Kapijimpanga chief installation, saying what Mr. Mateo and group were doing were mere jokes, simply put in the local language, mansansa.
Neba swanyika kafako koba swanyika mfumu mayone kechi kino kime cha mayone abo bantu bene kukaya tu muiba bule kubamba baleke kufuma lero mambo tukete nuna chatama.
Kalan Uchima reporting for Camnet News.
A United Party for National Development youth, Matomola Likwanya, who was arrested on the 17th of November 2020 for protesting half-naked at the University of Zambia, after the institution blocked some students from writing their exams due to financial balances, has appeared in court. Matomola appeared in court for plea after spending 12 days in detention. Matomola, 29, was, however, never called to the stand to take plea, but his case was adjourned to a later date for unknown reasons by Magistrate Mwandu Sakala. The accused is facing one count of idle and disorderly persons contrary to the laws of Zambia. Matomola is further being accused of disorderly conduct at a public institution. But some UPND officials who went to offer solidarity at the court have described the premature adjournment as an assault of the dispensation of justice against the accused.
He spent close to 12 days in detention after his arrest. Likwanya Matomola, who was arrested on the 18th of November 2020 after protesting half-naked at the University of Zambia, appeared before court this morning. The accused, who has been charged with one count of idle and disorderly persons, contrary to Section 176C of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia, failed to take his plea. However, sympathizers who came to offer their solidarity to the accused had this to say.
I'm very disappointed with the judicial system now. What's happening is not supposed to have taken place. But what I urge every Zambian in this country, and especially in Lusaka province, we should mobilize and go and register as voters so that we remove this regime here. What is happening here, it's just they want to infringe on our rights. We've got the right to come to court, and our person has the right to appear before the courts, but the justice has been delayed. They can't allocate a magistrate who is not around. It was a deliberate move, but we are not intimidated.
Allegations in this case are that the accused, who is a UPND Vice Information and Publicity Secretary and a teacher on the 18th of November 2020 in Lusaka, being a person at a public, namely the University of Zambia, did conduct himself in a disorderly manner. He is expected to make his appearance before Magistrate Mwandu Sakala tomorrow for his plea. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
In other news, the Council of Churches in Zambia has expressed concern with the idea of centralizing of national resources coming from mining companies. CCZ General Secretary Father Emmanuel Chikoya says communities hosting mining companies must be given priority when it comes to development, unlike money coming from their communities being channeled to develop other areas. Father Chikoya wonders why communities where mineral resources are coming from remain underdeveloped, while poverty is the order, as all funds being realized from such areas are directed to other needs across the country. He has since called for decentralization of mining resources in order to ensure that mining communities start benefiting more from the proceeds realized from the sector. He has further commended that a certain amount of mining royalties are directed to communities so that chiefdom can directly administer it to bringing about development.
Of that development that is needed. So we would like to see a situation where there is decentralization, where the management of revenue is in such a way that certain a reasonable allocation from the royalties is directly given to local communities. We would want to see chiefdoms that are empowered and chiefdoms that are no longer beneficiaries of corporate social responsibility crumbs, but they're in the boardroom. And for that to happen, you need a government that is able to empower its people, but also the chiefdoms can also just take it upon themselves to look in-house, check and take stock of who is who within their chiefdoms, and form formidable teams that will engage with any investor, so that the interests of those local communities is always taken care of. Because a politician, I think, cannot take care of your interests. They will always do things as long as they favor them. Anything that will not favor them, they will always dilly-dally on it. And so it will take forever to have certain pieces of registration put in place. So ideally, we must make sure that these mining communities and places where mining is taking place are made usable again. For that, you need a very strong legal system, and that is implemented and enforced, so that when a mine goes, you can reclaim that land and people can still use it for other productive activities. And so at the end of the day, you also don't want just, the lime painting of schools and things. We want high quality schools. You want the road sector, infrastructure like roads, schools, and hospitals built, but also through the mining activities, the diversification of the economies of these communities.
Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale has acquitted former Capital Buses Operations Manager Arnold Zulu in a case he was charged with sodomy. In discharging Mr. Zulu, the court ruled that a case has not been established against the accused persons. Zulu, 38, was charged with 1 count of indecent practices between males. Allegations were that on the 22nd of August 2019 in Lusaka, jointly and whilst acting together with other persons unknown, did commit an act of gross indecency.
Arnold Zulu, the man accused of engaging in a sexual act with a fellow man last year, has been set at liberty by the Lusaka's Magistrate Court. Zulu, a former Capital Buses Operations Manager, aged 38, was charged with 1 count of indecent practices between males. He was jointly charged with Mazwa Mwinga, whose case was later discontinued by the state with a nolle and was turned into a state witness. However, delivering ruling, Chief Resident Magistrate Lamek Mwale states that the essential elements of the offence Zulu is charged with, bordering on the act of alleged unlawful canon knowledge against the order of nature, was not proved by the state. Zulu, who appeared for a ruling on case or no case to answer, was acquitted by the court after the state failed to establish a prima facie against him. Last year, Zulu was arrested by the police after they allegedly found him having sexual intercourse against the order of nature. During trial, the court heard how a doctor did not have findings to conclude that there was sexual intercourse between the Flash Buses manager, Zulu, and the 21-year-old Mazwa Mwinga he was accused of sodomizing. Mwinga, however, testified that Zulu grabbed and pushed him on the bed and tried to have sexual intercourse with him when he went to seek for employment from him. He had told court that Zulu offered him 10,000 kwacha not to say anything to the police after they were apprehended. However, the evidence produced by the state was not sufficient enough to find him with a case to answer. Zulu is now a free man. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
That news item brings us to the end of Camnet TV Maiden News, but before we go, the headlines once again. Former police IG EPHRAIM MATEYO secretly sworn in as Chief KAPIJIMPANGA but warned against fanning violence. UPND youth appears in court over lawn naked protest at the University of Zambia after 12 days in detention. Thank you for joining me. Join us on social media, Camnet TV on Facebook, Camnet TV Africa on Instagram. I am Precious Mzeya Sakaleji, compliments of the season.